Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Haim Taib, the president and founder of the Mitreli Group and the Menomadin Foundation, and an expert in developing and strengthening countries in Africa. Haim, bevakasha.
Good morning. Today is exactly 30 years since I first arrived in Africa. When you think of Africa, what comes to mind? Poverty, corruption, the backyard of the world? When I think of Africa, I see people, culture, and most great potential. Yes, I see Africa as the future of the world. 30 years have passed, and I know that the world is not beginning to understand the potential of more than 1,200,000,000 people. After hundreds of projects that have changed lives, I can assure you that the satisfaction of providing new life to people is hard to describe in words. If you really strive for Tikkun Olam, Africa is your platform of action. Africa does not have to be the backyard. It can easily turn into the growth engine because it has everything: the larger land, agricultural, water, and mineral reserves. And it can create everlasting growth for generations, mainly in food security. So, how do we realize this potential? By developing models which are unique to Africa, by cooperation with public sector and with financial entities. This is what we do at Mitreli Group, and is not a vision. This is happening today, every day. The new village, Aldea Nova, is an example for such a model. It was 20 years ago when the civil war in Angola ended. It left destruction and hostility between the two groups that fought each other. The president looks for idea of civic project to rebuild the country. So I told him about the success of the Zionist story, about the farming communities, kibbutz and moshav. My family came to Israel from Tunisia with no background in agriculture. But my parents ended up with a farm growing vegetables, flowers, and 200 sheep. We were a family of 9. My parents worked so hard, but it was barely enough. 30 years after growing up in a moshav, I developed a model to rebuild Angola, a model based on the Zionist dream of the benefit of other countries. I advised the president to settle veterans from the two opposite sides to create a modern community together. Many said this was an illusion, that it will never work. But today, 20 years later, this vision is a reality. In a peaceful valley in Angola, 1,200 families live in 18 communities. Each family has been given a house and a farm where they grow their food. They also grow food for mass marketing to supermarkets and all over Angola. A huge logistics center serves residents from all the surrounding area supplying food for the main cities of Angola. We also invested in a regional school that was a great success. But before we celebrate, it is important for me to emphasize. Building models for developing countries require creative solution and determination over time. I realized that a dramatic part of the success of a model is training and cultural adaptation. We practically created in Angola a new ecosystem of housing, employment, food, education, and even technology. I take great pride to bring innovation and technologies from the startup nation to improve life in Africa. The new village is just one model in one country. As we speak, we are running 80 mega projects in Angola, employing thousands of people. At the same time, Mitreli Group manages projects in Senegal and Ivory Coast as well. Another example of developing a national model was in the field of water. Facing the problem of contaminated water, we built more than 1,000 water treatment plants. It turned out that there was a dramatic decline in the illness in the villages with access to clean water. As of today, we have installed water system for over 1 million people. During the last years, the child mortality rate in Africa decreased from 1 child out of 3 born to 1 out of 14, mostly because the water quality. It really saves lives every day. Mitreli Group operates in a wide variety of industries in Africa. In all, we are developing unique models for the countries.
Spanning all the Mitreli sectors, our models encourage sustainable development, reflecting the UN's SDGs. These are just a few examples. We build power plants and bring electricity to hundreds of thousands of homes. We're building 340 clinics in Ivory Coast and 5 hospitals in Angola. And we've treated more than 200,000 patients in the last 2 years at our state-of-the-art medical center in Luanda. During the COVID pandemic, we established 3 field hospitals in 0 time. Mitreli agricultural projects ensure food security, creating thousands of jobs and expanding commerce while contributing to social development. We establish vocational training schools, colleges, and entrepreneurial centers, giving tens of thousands of young people the tools to find work or start businesses, with more than 1,000 career courses in business development and management. In technology, cyber, and telecom, we develop new models that implement innovation every single day. In real estate and urbanization, we continue to build neighborhoods across 6 cities. 17,000 homes have already been delivered to 50,000 residents who have moved into modern housing, and another 40,000 are under construction.
As I see it, we are not building houses. We build community. We are establishing a modern ecosystem that has become our leading model. The pioneers who founded the State of Israel, the generation of my parents, did not imagine that the model from the Zionist ethos will help to developed countries in Africa. Another pillar of developing countries is a the Menomadin Foundation. It presents a blended approach to impact, blending strategic philanthropy, impact investment, and cross-sector partnership. Dear friends, my grandparents left Africa 73 years ago. I went back to Africa 30 years ago. And I call on anyone who wants to make a difference to invest in Africa. We have unique models for developing countries that we will love to share. We will be glad to join forces with governments across the continent and with business leaders who see the potential. I admit, I'm still excited to see running water bringing life to the center of a village. And I'm very optimistic to see children studying technology. So, come to Africa, not for them, for us. Thank you.